Okay, so even if you didn't try to actually program this game all by yourself yet, hopefully you took a few minutes to go out and get set up for this game. Again, the fish and the shark are standard sprites built into Scratch. The backdrop is a standard sprite built into Scratch, and realistically it doesn't matter what you use. If you wanted to make this a frog eating insects in the woods, you could do that too, and the same movement is all the same. So I've got this thing already. I didn't even bother making you watch me do the basic setup, right? We've still got the idea that the game says when I get the green flag, do places everybody and wait, and then broadcast the game. And so I don't know yet if I'm going to have places anybody on the stage, but I know I'm probably going to. And so, you know, both the shark and the fish go to only 50% of their size on places everybody because the original size in Scratch is just too big for what I want for this game. So that's a pretty good setup. What I want to start with then is how we move that shark around on the screen, and you saw that in the opening video if you watched that opening video. Remember, the idea is I want the shark to slowly move his way toward my cursor. That rather than using the keys, I'm going to use my mouse and the cursor control to have the shark move around on the board. And so the way we're going to do that is this. We're going to come to events and we're going to say when I receive game, right? That's when it's time to actually start the game. I want the shark to forever. And again, you'll see in a little bit later in these videos, I'm not a big fan of forever, and I'm going to change that in this particular set of videos. But I'm going to start with forever because it's good. I want the shark to basically try to pursue my cursor. And so the idea that I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have my shark turn to face my cursor. Because I want him to move toward my cursor no matter where it is, right? And so the way that I'm going to do that is to actually have the shark point toward my mouse pointer, my cursor. And so what he does then, let me just run this right now, right? If I do this right now, what you'll see is, oops, I put this in the fish, not the shark. Let's move that over. Let's hit stop. Let's drag this over to the shark. That made a copy of it in the shark. I can go into fish and say, let's get rid of this. I'm going to leave the game because obviously he'll have a game at some point. Let's go back to the shark. Let's right-click, clean up the blocks. Perfect. Move toward the mouse pointer. Point toward the mouse pointer. Now no matter where I'm pointing, he's going to keep looking at me. Maybe I don't want him upside down and on his head, but we'll fix that in a little bit. But I want him to point toward me no matter what, and then I want him to move toward the cursor. And so what I might have him do is say, let's have him move 3 steps. That's about the right step, I think, with this. And so now he slowly moves toward. Notice he always is pointing toward me and moving toward the mouse cursor. Let's stop for a second, though. Let's go back to his places, everybody, and make a change. I don't really want him on his head, so you'll recall from earlier in the course that we can set the rotation style to left-right, and that will mean that he's not going to go on his head. Now, instead, he simply points left and right, but he's always face up, belly down, and he's moving toward the cursor until he catches the... Oh, wait, that's bad. When he catches the cursor, he's going crazy. Why do you think he's going crazy? This is really hard to explain in a video, but let me try it anyway. It's something I do in my classroom all the time, and it's much easier to do visually in the classroom. But here's what this is saying. I'm saying point toward the mouse pointer and take 3 steps. And so suppose right now he's 100 steps away. He takes 3 steps. That means he's now 97 steps away. And then he points toward the cursor again, and he takes 3 steps. Now he's 94. And 3, and he keeps going 3 away over and over and over again. And eventually, with the math that I just gave you, he's going to get down to he's 4 steps away, he takes 3 steps, so now he's 1 step away, he takes 3 steps. Well, if he was only 1 step away from me, and he took 3 steps toward me, that means he actually moved 2 steps past me. And so then, when this loop comes back again, it says point toward the mouse pointer, so he turns 180 degrees and points back the way he just came from, and he takes 3 steps. Well, the first 2 steps get him to me, the third one gets him 1 past me. And so what's happening in this is he's constantly just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He's constantly going past me a little bit in one direction and past me. Really, here's what I want to say. What I want to say is move 3 steps toward me until you're close enough. And what is close enough? Well, if he's more than 3 steps away, then when he moves toward me, he's still on that side of me. But basically what I say, when he's 3 steps away from me, don't bother walking. He's got to me. And so here's the way I like to control this in mine. I say, if, and now I'm going to do some different things here. I'm going to do sensing. I'm going to do distance to mouse pointer. So I can come back to here, and I can say if the distance to the mouse pointer is greater than 3 pixels, 3 steps, then I want him to move 3 steps. Right? Think about what this says. It says forever point toward the mouse pointer. If I'm far enough away, more than 3 steps, then move 3 steps. Eventually, if I get so close where taking 3 steps will move me past the mouse pointer, then don't bother, just stop. And so now I've got the ability for the shark to move to the mouse pointer, and no matter what happens when he basically gets to the mouse pointer, he stops. That's a good increment. We now have the shark moving to the mouse pointer.